Hi everyone. In this video, we're going to talk about the structure of an LD case. So when you're in Lincoln Douglas debate, you write your own cases and you compile them full of your own words plus evidence to create a persuasive case to convince your judge that your side of the topic is correct. So we're going to go over the structure of this because you're going to be writing a case for the novice debate tournament, which will happen on Halloween. Your topic has not come out yet. Your topic is released on October 1st, and it will be released on speechanddebate.org, so you can be checking that out for when the topic comes out. You can also follow Speech and Debate on Instagram, and often, they post the topics on there as well. Okay, so when you're writing a case, you're first going to either start with the affirmative case or the negative case, but the structure holds up for both. Okay, so the first thing you're going to do is you're going to start with a statement or a quote that supports your side of the topic. And then you'll say, because of this statement, or because I agree with your author of the quote, I stand in firm affirmation, which is affirmative, or negation of the resolution. And then you're going to put the resolution or the topic here. Make sure you're taking these down as notes so that you have them when you're writing your case. So you put the resolution there. The first thing you want to do is you want to do definitions. So you want to define any key terms. In the resolution, you only want to define words that are in the resolution. And you don't want to just come up with your own definitions. You want to use definitions from dictionaries or academic papers or experts in the field of the topic. So you're going to define those words, and then next thing you would move on to is your value. So you learned about value in Audrey's videos, but again, your value is it's going to be what is the most important to you, or what's most important to your side of the topic related to the topic. Okay, so you would do your value, and you'd say something like, my value for today's round is blank. This is defined as, and that's where you'll define it, and you'll cite a source. And then next, you're going to say your criterion. You'll say something like, my value is best supported by or upheld by my criterion of blank. And same thing here, you're going to say this is defined as blank, and you'll cite a source. Remember, your criterion helps you achieve your value, and sometimes helps your judges to weigh the round or decide who wins. So you'll do your criterion, your definitions, criterion, value criterion, and then you're going to do your body of your case. So you'll start with contention 1, which is like a main point, and you're going to put the title of your point. And this is going to be the structure of those contentions. I'm going to actually do this. Cool. So you're going to first start out with a description of your point. I'm going to explain it a little bit, maybe take a few sentences. And then you're going to cite evidence and put it in card format. And remember, we learned about this under the argumentation module. So you put a card, and that includes your impact statement. And that's, again, why does the evidence matter? And then you're going to relate that evidence back to your contention. And then you want to do the same thing. Cite evidence, relate it back to point. The last part of your contention, you want to connect your contention or your point to your value and your criterion. You can ask yourself, how does this relate back to or support my value and criterion? And that would be your point. And your contention. There we go. And then your other points are pretty similar. So I'm actually just going to do this, copy and paste it. But instead of contention 1, it's going to be contention 2. All right, if you are writing an affirmative case, you're going to have 3 contentions. If you're writing a negative case, you're only going to have 2 contentions because your case is shorter. So an affirmative case is 6 minutes, and a negative case is usually 4 to 5 minutes. Okay, so it needs to be shorter, so you only have 2 contentions. So if it's an affirmative case, you're going to do another contention. And then you're going to have a conclusion. You want to summarize, relate your whole case to your value and criterion. And then you want to say something like, and because of these reasons, I urge you to vote for the neg team. And that would be your case. So let's review it one more time. So we start by doing a statement or a quote that supports your side of the topic. Make sure you have this written down as we go through it. We're going to say, because of this statement, or because I agree with this author, I stand in firm affirmation or negation of the resolution, and then I put the resolution. Then I'm going to define my key terms, only terms that are in the resolution, using sources from dictionary or papers or something. Then I'm going to state my value and define it. Then I'm going to have my criterion. I'm going to state it, define it, and show how it supports my value. Then I'm going to do my main points or my contentions. I'm going to title them. I'm going to describe them, cite evidence to support it, relate it back to my point, repeat that again, and then I'm going to show how my whole point supports my value and criterion. I'm going to repeat that 1 or 2 times depending on my side of the round, if I'm affirmative or negative. At the end, you're going to summarize your case briefly, relate it to your value criterion, and say, because of these reasons, I urge you to vote for the affirmative or the negative team. And that's the structure of your case. So you're welcome to pause this, rewind this if you need to update your notes, but you will be using this structure to write your cases for your very first debate. So that topic comes out soon, so be on the lookout for it.